I think it depends on, how do you define a winning attitude. Damn difficult to reach your goals. If you don't have that inner push, that inner drive towards, the easiest thing in life is to be negative.
Yeah.
The difficult part is to reach for positivity.
I want to share with viewers that I saw in Jonathan home and in the office on the fridge. There was a sticker of NASA's quote which say failure is not an option, and now you're talking about this positive spiral and all that. So if you can talk about that a little bit and explain us. And as a person, you are naturally a positive person mindset, if I believe. So if you can tell us about that.
Thank you for mentioning that. It's also my own belief. I don't know whether that's an illusion or a glamour or something like that, but that's also what I try to reach. It doesn't mean, of course, that I have nothing to learn on that as well. I'm not 100% positive 24/7, so to speak, but I always strive to be, and I always even when meeting obstacles or a huge setback or failure, something like that, whether it's created by myself, you could say it's always created by yourself, I actually believe. But even when it can seem to be from outside something you are not in control of, that is done to you. I really mean when I say done to you, because I actually think it's something we attract by ourselves. So the responsibility again lands on my own shoulders. But that's another and maybe even deeper talk. We should have another day, but it becomes more philosophical. But anyways, a positive mindset is important, I believe, and a mindset of optimism. You mentioned this about failure is not an option. That quote, it doesn't come from me, but it's actually an interesting quote because it actually tells a lot about the mindset we are talking about. To me, the quote of failure is not an option. It doesn't mean that failure and mistakes cannot occur. It's actually quite the opposite. Because failures will always be, and mistakes will be made. Okay, so it's more the mindset, the way you meet the obstacles, the failures, the mistakes, and push yourself. And if you're a leader, for example, push yourself and your team forward, despite of failures, despite of mistakes being made. So it's more, the quote is more an idea you should ponder on, and through your pondering, shape your mindset in the direction of a winner's attitude. Because failure is not an option is strongly connected with a winner's attitude. And so I actually think it's a very good for people out there who meditate, more and more people in the world, right? Also the Western world actually meditate and use this kind of mindfulness and meditation and so forth. Very strong tool, something I have done myself for many, many, many years. And I can recommend very much also in all this process about developing yourself towards what you want to radiate and express. but if you have knowledge about meditation, use meditation, then you know what a seed thought is. A seed thought is a thought, an idea you can meditate on, so to speak. And if you do that and have that practice, it's certainly something I would recommend to actually use as a seed thought sometimes. What does it really mean? Failure is not an option. What does that exactly mean, right? And what does it mean to me? Again, because when you actually reflect on that, you begin slowly to reshape your own mindset about what it means. It means failure is not an option. Behind it all, to me, it means a lot of things, I would say, but to me it also means that when you fail, you stand up. When you fall, you stand up and keep on going, pushing yourself forward until you don't fail. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Until you reach that goal, until you realize that dream or that goal. That's what it means. It doesn't mean that your path towards realizing your goal or reaching your goal, getting to your goal, that you don't fail or make mistakes on your path, on your way. Of course you do. So and maybe that is actually one of the biggest differences between the one who's not and the one who's doing it. Is that the one who is actually getting there is the one who is keeping on pushing herself forward, even when it's difficult, even when you fall, even when there are failures or huge mistakes or setbacks. You stand up and you keep on walking. That's a big difference, or one of the big differences, I believe.
In the past, it happened with you, or any example or experience you want to share with all of us, it will be great, where because the people around you or maybe your team, it's not have the winning attitude, and that's why maybe the project not gone as per the plan or got off track or something can happen like that, and how you overcome from that.
That's a very good question, because it really depends on the situation, I would say.
Yeah.
Is it a huge thing that can cost a lot, not necessarily just in money a lot, but can cost a huge setback for the organization, the start of the company. So you have to downgrade, so to speak, which means that worst case can cost people their jobs, which is never good. It costs the organization, the company, a lot of money. Is it that kind of level we talk, or is it just the small setbacks you always meet that, I don't know, where just ask marketing. Just ask marketing or the sales team in the organization, and they will share a lot of setbacks, and they will share a lot of, oh my God, we made a mistake there, or we made a crucial mistake that end up having a negative ROI or whatever, right? So it really depends on what level we're talking about, but bottom line is, I believe, whether it's huge or it's minor, is that it's really about taking the learnings from what has happened.
Okay.
So having that mindset to learn from the mistakes that you have made. That's crucial. And you do that to, of course, develop the knowledge base in your team and within yourself, as well as making sure that we will not make the same mistake again. So we actually take it as a crucial learning to move things forward and not make the same mistake again. So that's also why I always develop in my teams, in my companies, that we should always inspire people to make mistakes, but not the same mistake twice. Okay, so in that way you actually create a mentality in the organization of trust, you create trust, and through trust you avoid fear. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Because if it's okay for you to make mistakes in the organization, you will have less fear of making them, right?
Yeah.
Right?
And you will take more chances.
Exactly. And that's where innovation comes in. You can never innovate, you can never develop anything if you are afraid of making mistakes, because no innovation will ever occur, will ever happen if you're afraid of making mistakes, because there will always be a lot of mistakes, a lot of failures, so to speak, a lot of setbacks in your development of new innovative products, services, methods, whatever it is, right? So ideas. So the point here is you need to create that certain mindset or that certain mentality in your organization. Get rid of fear. Fear should have no life in any organization. Unfortunately, I must say, fear is a part of a lot of organizations across the globe, across cultures. Yeah, I know some cultures, it's deeper integrated in the way leadership or the hierarchy in the organizations are made. I get that, but fear of making mistakes, it's something you find across cultures, across nations on the globe, so to speak, and the first thing for what I would call a good balanced leader that really understands the deeper psychology in man is to get rid of any kind of fear. A practical tool to do so is to actually asking them or inspiring to actually making mistakes. Please make mistakes. Please make mistakes. Go and make mistakes. But learn from them. Learn from them so we don't make them twice, right? That we should always avoid. Because if you keep on making the same mistake, it actually means that you don't learn from it, right? Correct. That's not good. Yeah. Neither. So ask your people to make mistakes. Create the foundation in your organization as a leader that this organization is an organization that seeks to make mistakes, and it's okay to make them, and let's learn from them.
Very true.
So it is reshaping how you lead, and it's reshaping how you treat your people, so to speak, and develop your people. And the same thing counts for within yourself, and that was, of course, your question. It was in regard to me, and maybe not at that bigger scale, but it's the same thing. Yeah, it's that same mentality, that same mindset that you need to create and radiate, by the way, if you're a leader. So yeah. So on a last question, I want to just know about when you want to create a winning attitude in your kids. Do you find it difficult, or it's easier, or before parent you thought it will be very easier? Now you're seeing it's in a different way, because a lot of changes are happening in and around us, and very quickly, if I say. That's a very good question. If you think leadership is difficult, leadership meaning leading your team as a manager, say, or even at a director's level. But leading people, then you should just have kids and see it's another ball game. Of course, there are several reasons for that, I believe. First and foremost, of course, you have to navigate in a climate that is a combination of still not developed emotional and mental levels to the same degree as you can expect in adults. That's one thing, of course. And the other thing is that you're emotionally connected with your own kids, right?
True.
So you're not impersonal, right? You meet your kids in another way that you meet your team.
Yes, true.
Hopefully, but it's connected that you are emotional connected in many ways, right? And you might even have, whether you like to realize it, whether you like to, I would say, be honest about it, you might have bigger ambitions on behalf of your kids than of your own team. Even though I would say I have big ambitions on behalf of my team. I love my people. I really deeply love my people. Believe it or not, but I really, truly, I build families, maybe not by blood in my companies, in my team, but I build families, and I deeply mean that, and so they means a lot. They mean a lot to me, and but I don't see them as my kids, and I am emotionally connected with my people, with my teams, but it's still in another way than with my kids.
True.
And so I think that combination, I was mentioning, we are dealing with kids here, right? And the other thing is a deeper emotional connection. And that has its pros and it has its cons, of course. But yeah, back to the other part of your question is, how do I do that, or do I see it as important? I think what my oldest daughter Aliyah is 13 years old, right? And my youngest, Nomi, is 10. And they're turning 11 and 14 this year. So that means I have had close to 14 years of practice.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And to be 100% honest, of course, I don't think anything in life, anything I have met, experienced, and so forth, has developed me to the same level as being father. Okay? And one of the reasons for that, I believe, is, of course, it depends on how you approach your fatherhood, how you approach life, and how you approach yourself, so to speak. But with my mindset, which I expressed earlier here, right, by talking about this kind of focusing on getting out of the cave, that means, develop yourself, begin to walk the path to reveal or unfold your deepest potential in life and all that, right? So if you have that view or that idea that it's important to develop yourself and in that way approach life with that, from that perspective. That's what I mean when I say nothing has developed me to the same degree as being father. And the reason for that, I believe, is that one of the very beautiful things about kids are they are so pure and connected with the pureness in kids are the honesty and the truth that they radiate daily. With that I mean you cannot set up a better mirror than having kids. That mirror follows you wherever you go. Whatever situation that occur, that mirror follows you because your kids are holding that mirror for you. So it pushes you, it tests you, and at the same time it tells you what the hell is wrong with you. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you, Jonathan, right? And that's really the beauty of fatherhood, or that's a potential of fatherhood. I believe if you see that, if you realize that beautiful opportunity that fatherhood brings you. Don't misunderstand me. It's not because fatherhood is about you, but you can approach it with that mindset, that mentality as well. Because if you take your fatherhood seriously, and in that way, when I say seriously, I mean that you take the responsibility as a father, whatever it takes, 360 degrees around the family, from making sure all the fundamentals works, meaning you bring food to the table, you bring a roof over your family's head, and so forth and so forth. You bring the opportunities they will get in life. That's wrong to put it that way, not get in life, but you bring some of the opportunities to them.
Yeah.
For example, are you able of bringing your kids to a better school? You should do it. But it's your responsibility, it's not your kids.
Yeah.
So, and crucial as well, in my opinion, as fatherhood, there are two other things, and that's love. That you understand whatever have happened to yourself, whatever your own father and mother showed you in your life, you have to understand, you have to get out of your own cave, and express love to your kids. I mean, express love.
Yeah.
Not just thinking, not just feeling love. Express it. Express it daily. I love you, Aliyah. I love you, Naomi. And express it to your wife. That's also a part of being father, because the way you treat your wife is the way your kids will treat their spouse. Okay?
Yeah.
You are their inspiration. Remember that. So treat your wife with respect, with deep love, and show it. Also, so your kids sees it, how a gentleman, how a father, how a husband should be like.
Yeah.
You're the inspiration for that. You're the first inspiration for your own kids. If you have boys, it's showing them how you treat girls, women, If you have girls, it's showing them how their male friends or boyfriends or future husband should treat them.
Yeah.
And if they don't have been taught that, they should find some other friends or another boyfriend or another husband. Yeah. Okay? So this is so crucial. You are the first inspiration for your own kids. Understand that as a father. That's crucial in my opinion and belief. And the last thing is kind of connected to that, but that's more the general traits and mindset and mentality that you teach and inspire your kids, whether they're boys and girls, it doesn't matter. Those fundamentals that we have talked about today also. Try to set that course for them. Help them to set that course, because it's way easier to learn as a kid than after you grow up and become an adult and you then have to try to learn these things. Of course you can do that. You can learn through all life. Never forget that. You're never too old to learn. But of course some parts are easier to learn when you're young. So set that course, try to help your kids finding that mentality that will be fruitful to them. And in that way you help them to build the strongest possible foundation to give them the best possible life.
Thanks for this amazing conversation, Jonathan. Really enjoyed it, and I hope our viewers also enjoyed the same. So in the end of episode 10, we are very glad that Jonathan shared this deep conversation with us. And I would request all our viewers to subscribe this channel. And in fact, we will post social media links of Jonathan also. So you can follow him there as well. And you can put comments, ask questions in these platforms. And we will love to have your questions and suggestion to check with Jonathan and answer it on that. And in social media also platforms, you can do Facebook and Instagram. Jonathan will himself answer on your comments. So that's great, and have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thanks.